Oh, hi.
Walk the Sky was a great process in the end. It was an experiment relative to how we'd made records in the past, especially once we started with Blackbird. It was like assembling sonic puzzles, because we'd get together, Mark and I in particular, and put these sections of songs together. But we didn't have that luxury on this because of the amount of touring that I was doing and the amount of travel Mark was doing as well. So it forced us to become much more diligent and focused, I think, in a lot of ways, to not just come up with individual ideas, but to make sure to complete at least a skeleton of a song so that we'd have something to present to the rest of the guys.
If I were to take their past work, I would say it's got like Fortress and AB3 kind of thrown into a blender, and those two, it kind of dances between the aggressiveness and in-your-faceness of Fortress, but it's also got kind of a dark somberness of Alter Bridge 3. There's one or two songs that to me straight up give me could have been from the Blackbird era of when I first got involved with the band. I think it's going to be one of the classic albums in their catalog.
I'm always trying to find new inspiration when I'm writing albums, and see if I can approach it differently. With this record, what I did was, instead of just finding drum loops and programming drums to play to, I would go online and find different kind of loops. Like I stumbled upon some old school retro synthwave kind of stuff, like old John Carpenter soundtrack kind of loops, and just try something different. And all of a sudden, these ideas just started popping out, and I created chord progressions over these kind of drony synths, and I remember calling Myles and saying, this is kind of what I'm chasing down right now, and he really agreed with it. He's like, I love that vibe, I think it's killer, and let's go for it. Not that this whole record's gonna be some synthwave record, but there's a couple songs that are influenced by just that kind of John Carpenter-y kind of thing.
I just pick up a guitar and start playing, and on this record it was different because I went back to Logic. It's a recording platform, and there are so many tools to help inspire you in that realm. I know Mark talked about he went to YouTube and was doing like loops there, but I would just maybe program some drum beats. Maybe I'd start out programming some sort of pad synthwise that would just speak to me and create a creative spark to where then a whole song would blossom from there. So there are a number of different ways to do that. Sometimes you hear something in your head. I'd be on a flight on the road, and I'd hum whatever I heard into my phone, and then chase down the rest of the idea. There's a certain amount of pressure in knowing that you want it to be at a certain level. I try not to think about that, because otherwise you're going to get paralysis by analysis, and I try to have a fresh canvas and try not to think about any expectations. Where it gets difficult is when you know that you don't have all the boxes checked. With Alter Bridge, every fan kind of has their favorite type of song. We've got the anthems, we've got the more the ballads, we've got the more aggressive songs, riff-based songs, metal. So we try to have all those boxes checked to some degree.
I think the fans will dig Walk the Sky. I think it's got everything an Alter Bridge fan would like. It's something different. It's from the feedback I've gotten so far from playing it for friends and family, it's got its own identity for sure. It doesn't sound like any particular Alter Bridge record, which is good. I think every record should have its own voice and own personality, and I think this record has it. It's got its own dynamics. Tells a new story, and can't wait to share it with people.